Good day, everyone. This is Marcelo Palermo for Epic News, and I am very happy to be here with you again in one of our new studios. We're all over town, all over the world. We're here in the southwest region of Texas, a state that has seen a peak in coronavirus recently. Not that bad, though, but we're having some worries about what's going on. President Trump reopening his campaigns, and it has been said that we have to be a little bit careful with assisting to events where greater numbers of people will be congregated because of the fact that we can see a peak in coronavirus COVID-19 cases. Well, in the States, we're over the 2 million, already way past that. And we are over the 118,000 deaths. As a matter of fact, we're almost at 118,500 deaths. In the whole world, we are going over the 8 million cases, and yet we haven't reached the number of 500,000 deaths, thank God, although many experts are actually indicating that we might, and we might very soon, unfortunately, as well as they are saying that here in the United States, we might get to that point of the fatal number of 200,000 deaths because of victims of coronavirus COVID-19. Now, the other day I've been seeing the networks and social media unfortunate pictures and assessments of coronavirus's vaccines, and I had to take the task of explaining to the people about that, because it seems that we can explain all we want, but there will always be some that will be caught off guard. And one of the reasons of being caught off guard is because it's not widespread as information, the fact that we have been having coronaviruses for 40 years. At least we have identified coronaviruses 4 decades ago, or a little bit more than 4 decades ago. But the COVID-19 coronavirus disease 2019 is a novel coronavirus. And as many experts were saying today, pretty much anticipating what might happen with the new political rallies, especially coming from President Trump's campaign, that COVID-19, we don't yet have a vaccine, no pills, no treatments. The most effective treatment right now is prevention, and yes, more prevention. We got to keep on moving forward like that, although we're at phase 2 to 3 of the world reopening after being confined, most of us in our homes. We have done some essential work and we have to be out there, but always taking the proper measures. And you have to know and understand that means that we have to keep on wearing masks, not to protect ourselves, but to protect others. And remember that there are people that they might catch coronavirus, COVID-19, and might be asymptomatic. But they might pass that coronavirus by accident to others who are risk groups. And unfortunately, those people can be widely and severely affected. That's why we have to keep on preventing. Well, now, very interesting news today. The Supreme Court has ruled against the idea of the White House, the Trump administration, of terminating DACA. And that means that 700,000 so-called dreamers are going to be safe for now. But one of the things that I'm not telling you is that they're still in limbo. There has to come a solution. There has to be a solution for those 700,000. It's not that much of a big number, not even a million people that had come to the country. Let me tell you about that, guys. The Deferred Act that actually prevents authorities to deport, to expel from the country what they call kids, they're called dreamers now, kids that had come with families who came to the country illegally, but they were kids. I mean, they didn't make the decision. They had to come with their families because, well, the parents were moving to the country and they brought them with them. So pretty much the only country they know is the United States of America. And if we have to bring a perennial solution, we have to think about the facts. These kids and many people that have been deported have been sent to other countries before, and they were sent to an unknown territory for them. Although they might have been born there, they lived all of their lives here in the United States of America, and they really don't know nothing bad. So when we talk about the DACA kids, we talk about people that are already in college or already graduated even from college, or they are really scholars, academics, people that are productive, incorporated to our productive force and working force, and they're paying taxes. They are productive members of society. So again, you see that number, 700,000, and you see how many times the Congress has failed in trying to bring up a solution. Now you're thinking, why is it that the Supreme Court seems to be the only part of the government that's functioning now? Maybe because people don't vote for them? That's one of the arguments I heard, and I said, well, not exactly, but if you think about it, the scholars of the law had to come to a conclusion that is more perennial and logical than just guided by partisanship or by ideological policies or ideas. So when it comes down to these 700,000 people waiting for them to have a path to a resident card, a green card, or eventually a citizenship, it should be easier. The rule should be they didn't come here because they knew that it was illegal and they just were fleeing, a violence-infested country or a third world country that brought them nothing but poverty, and they decided to come here to the country. No, they were following their parents. So at this point, their whole lives have been created and elaborated around things that are related to the United States of America, the neighborhoods, the culture, the language. What are they going to do if they are sent back, deported to the country of origin, which is literally the country where they were born and they don't know much or, to be honest, nothing about? So again, as a friend of us who we were talking to last year here in El Paso during a very particular event in August, Mr. Diaz-Balart from Telemundo was saying today, he's also a former congressman, we're talking about 700,000 people. Can't we come together to have a solution for that? As it happened, as I recently heard Mr. Van Jones talk about, when he was assisting the Trump White House recently to come out with the First Step Act, a wonderful, wonderful legislation passed that actually is about helping those who are coming out of the penitentiary system, of prison, to be readapted, reincorporated back into civilization. Being able to, that way, become productive members of society and not to fall again. And one of the things that I heard that I think it was a fantastic concept by Mr. Anthony Van Jones, a renowned figure in the legal world and most than anything media, because he's even had his own Van Jones program at CNN. He said, well, we should actually start rewarding guards, those who work in the penal system, when they help inmates to evolve and become productive members. Let's say you have inmates and they're released from prison. If they come back in a matter of 1 or 2 months, well, you should actually be punished or even fired if you were in charge of them. But if they don't come back because of the fact that you help them out, you should receive bonuses. Talking about hundreds and thousands of dollars for those guards who actually help people become productive members of society. Why? Because that way we're going to be saving society from many problems and creating productive people that will be contributing in a very positive way. That is, I think, a very good idea and a well-projected thing for members of our society that have fallen in this ways. Many of them committing mistakes, many do and does. Many do, actually, commit mistakes and fall into the traps of the system. And what happens? Some of them, they never come out of it. So that's when we have to rethink the system. The First Step Act is as said, first step towards that goal, changing the system for the better. And remember, some 1,000 years ago, let me go anthropological here on you, 12,000 years ago, we were only 4 million inhabitants in the whole known world. 12,000 years ago. Of course, many of the things that we know today, human history had not even started to evolve or be written back then. But if you think in a time frame as of the world, it's just a blink of an eye. The world is 4.8 billion years old. Another thing, if you think about what happened 70,000 years ago, the Toba volcano explosion in Indonesia, which is Asia now, back then, left only between 10,000 to 30,000 humans to a practical perennial number of 20,000 humans for a matter of hundreds of years. In between that time, 70,000 years ago, and say 69,000 years ago, the world actually started to cool down drastically, to enter into another Arctic period, a freezing period that pushed what then were the early humans to migrate to different places, and eventually, in the whole known world, we only had around 10,000 to 20 to 30,000 of what it will become our species. Just think about it. Think about it, because nowadays we're still going through a pandemic situation, and we have to keep on moving forward to learn, as early humans did. But us, with all the advantages of technology and the reasoning and the critical thinking we should use towards better things, we should find a way out, and we should find a way towards a better us. Humans becoming better humans, and that's what it's all about. For Epic News, this is Marcelo Palermo. Thank you for watching. Remember, we're there with you, be there with us. This is news, editorial, critical thinking, information, the smart, intelligent way. Thank you very much. Thank you, Alvaro. Thank you all. We'll see you soon.